Today we meet Kendra Lendsey, Yo Fly Aunty, pro-aging expert, motivational speaker, and author of Midlife Flyness, Writing Your Own First-Class Ticket to Aging. In this episode, we'll talk about her incredible journey as a pro-aging expert and how she uses social media as her platform to entertain, educate, and edify. I can't wait for you guys to hear our conversation and learn about Kendra Lendsey, Yo Fly Aunty. Hello, sippers. Get ready for the S.E.T podcast where we sip, eat, talk, the ultimate blend of flavors and conversations. I'm Gina, your host, culinary enthusiast, and spirited conversationalist. Each episode will explore diverse topics, share laughs, and savor the moment with special guests. Sip on insights, eat up knowledge, and join the conversation. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Sip, Eat, Talk Podcast. Subscribe now for a journey that's as delicious as it is insightful. Let's sip, eat, and talk together. Cheers! Hello, sippers. Welcome to the S.E.T podcast where we sip, eat, talk. I'm your host, Gina. Whether you're drinking your favorite mocktail, cocktail, wine, coffee, tea, champagne, or energy drink, you are a sipper, and I am sipping in with you. The audio podcast can be found on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeart Podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Sip, Eat, Talk Podcast. You can find me, your host, Gina, at I am Gina Gibson on Instagram. Well, sippers, you know we've come to the time. That's one of my favorite parts where I let you know what I am sipping and eating on for today's episodes. I did a little bit of cooking today for today's episode, and I tried for the first time some curry ginger chicken skewers. That's right. I said some curry ginger chicken skewers. You can find a link in the description to the recipe on YouTube. It was a really quick fix. I actually like a little spicy, tangy-ness in my food, and so that works for me. So check that out. And remember, check in with me on our Instagram page at Sip Eat Talk Podcast. Let me know what you are sipping and eating on for the episode. Tag me in those photos. I would love to see. And so today I tried a new cocktail a few months ago at my 30th class reunion. A friend of mine, shout out to Sarita, ordered a French 75. And so I have made the French 75 today. The ingredients include gin, sugar syrup, and lemon juice, and it's topped off with some champagne. And so you will also find a link in the description to the recipe on YouTube, and I hope you try it. It's always hard to wait to do this taste test with you guys. It coats really nice. I did it in like my equivalent of the George Foreman grill. Oh yes, that mustard was the perfect choice. You know, told y'all always be honest. I would add a little bit more curry powder to this, but I like it. It's flavored well. I can taste the ginger, and I actually did extra ginger in my recipe. I really like that. Y'all know I'm doing a happy dance. Don't judge me. What can I say about today's guest? She is a woman with many titles. She is an author. She is a pro-aging expert. She is a speaker, but most importantly, she is one fly auntie. That's right. Today, I can't wait for you to get into this chat with my favorite internet auntie. Not just an internet auntie, but Yo Fly Aunty, as her moniker goes. And so today we welcome Miss Kendra Lendsey. I'm excited for this chat and hope that you are too. So let's get ready for the visionary sip. Raise your glass with me. Cheers. Tell me a little bit about Kendra, young Kendra, growing up in Florida. Always a big personality?
Always a big personality. I've always been in front of a microphone. I did the morning announcements from 5th grade until I want to say junior year in high school.
Wow.
I was class president and all of those things. So just always a talker, always a gatherer of people.
Okay.
But I am one of those people who is, especially being an only child, both my parents were educators. So both my mother and father taught 5th grade their entire careers.
Look at that.
I know. So, and I view myself as an educator at heart. I taught high school very early on. I don't know if you probably is pretty far back, but my oldest son is autistic.
Okay.
And so great deal of my working years, like the years that I probably would have been dead set in the middle of my career, I was working virtually before working virtual was cute or cool.
Okay.
But I took a lot of my early years, the foundational stuff. I am a fourth generation Floridian. So one of the rare people whose grandma, great grandma's grandma, everybody's from Florida. Well,
Okay.
as far back as we can go. And on both sides of my family. So the part of West Palm Beach, well, you might not know this because Florida's changed a lot, but South Florida, Miami used to kind of be it. West Palm Beach was a resort town. So there were times the year that people were there, but for the most part, it was country. And for the longest time, the Black community in South Florida was just people who were Black American South Floridians. But as things changed, our Jamaican family came, our Haitian family came, our Trini family came. So now South Florida feels like you are in another island.
Right.
It is a part
Definitely.
of the Caribbean. And so the beauty of growing up in a space that was it was very rural. I grew up on a dirt road, even though it wasn't like out in the country. I spent my time outside, climbing trees, eating mangoes, drinking water out the water hose, having, what do y'all call the ices in Philly?
Water ice.
They call lily dillies in Florida.
Lily dillies.
Lily dillies.
I heard
That's
that
right.
Florida when you said that too. Lily dillies.
They're called lily dillies. My grandma was the candy lady.
Okay.
So everybody was gathered around her house, and just a very simple upbringing with family. My mother was first generation, everything in her family, on her side of the family. My father was second generation college graduate. My grandfather went to Hampton. My dad went to Tennessee State. My mother went to Florida Memorial, Tuskegee University, the pride of the swift growing South.
Don't you just love us when it comes to our school? The Morris Brown College. We love when we say the names of our institutions. I love it so much. Well, we need to step back for a moment. Now, listen, I'm trying to put my best foot forth during here. And I don't mean to show my bossy nature, but I feel cheated because I thought when you got on, you were going to greet me with the famous, well, hello, darling. Hello, darling. Don't cheat me and deprive me of that.
Well, hello, darling.
Hello, Auntie. How are you today, beautiful?
Great.
Are you sipping on champagne over there?
It is a little Grand Marnier mimosa. So Grand Mimosa.
I have a French 75 today. I tried something different. It's yummy. It's really yummy.
Very adult.
Yes, I feel very adult. And so let's cheers it up, Queen, for a visionary sip today. Cheers. Thank you for joining me. I instantly fell in love.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Instantly. So I just want to take this moment to personally thank you. I mean, when I asked you to be on the podcast, I mean, the first episode was in December. And for you, I mean, when I say instant, yes, it was just about your calendar and schedule. And so deeply, thank you. Thank you. You don't know how much that meant to me.
Absolutely.
You don't know how much that meant to me.
I look forward to being able to talk to people, especially the one-on-one, and to share my journey with them and learn more about their journey, because of course when you're putting stuff online, you don't know who's seeing it.
Right. And the difference you're making.
Yeah. It's like, so I have worked with lots of different brand partners and lots of different other organizations, and my life online has been a slow burn. So I am not one of the people who's been online and like, and honey, I put that post up and it went viral, and then everybody came and was like, hey. Yeah, it hasn't been that way for me. And so my journey online started with my mother's passing. So how it started was after my mom passed, I'm an only. My father passed away when I was 14. So I was what they call an adult orphan.
Okay.
So my life was completely upended. I'm married. I've got 2 kids, but it's something different when it's mom and daddy.
I lost my dad in 20.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I'm saying.
You get it. You get it. Because there's a version of you that only exists while your parents are here. Because you become something completely different after they're gone.
Right.
Because there are things that that the softness or the wisdom of the people who helped you be who you are is no longer here. You don't get to talk to them. You don't get to process stuff through them. You don't get to do all of those things. And so you immediately become someone else. So I'd already been starting to work on losing weight.
I want to stay there for a minute if you don't mind.
Sure.
I haven't thought about this in years, but I couldn't relate. I remember, ironically enough, when I was online, one of my line sisters, her mother was going through something. I can't remember if it was cancer or what it was. And Patti LaBelle had, I don't know how old the book had been at the time. And one of the lines I'm paraphrasing in the book was, I didn't become a woman until I lost my mother. Right. And even though I still have my mom, that always I just remember how she sounded when she said that. And she was just nervous about, and thankfully everything went well with her mother. But I remember hearing that, and it didn't really stick or connect. But in thinking about a grown, like you said, woman, somebody's been married, or children, or grown children, whatever it is, and that just has always kind of stayed with me. And so when you said that, it made me think of that moment.
Does it click with you a little differently?
It does. It does, because it wasn't, my dad for me was like a moment of, I don't want to say missed gratitude, but you realize you'll never have them in front of you. It's the missed moments of, I didn't realize how much I missed telling you things.
The day-to-day stuff.
Just even my daddy was a pain in the behind sometimes. He just was feeling needed something. And when I tell you I miss that so much, I say to my mom sometimes, I say, I miss that pain in the butt.
Miss the pain in the butt. It's very different. And so you grow, you're forced to grow.
Yeah.
Because you had the opportunity to have your father in your life. Now you have to be your father to yourself, and you have to take what he gave you and continue to do that. But whatever that was that he was to you,
it's gone.
You have to be that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you're like, I didn't know what being a woman was, Patty, when she said that, was that because she always had somebody else to help her be a woman.
Yeah.
And so to process that stuff through, you become a completely different person.
Yeah.
A completely different person. So thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing that. And so that happens. How old are you when you lose your mom?
44.
44. And
44.
So, I was 44 when I lost my dad. How ironic. And so what kind of shift happens for you?
I was already losing weight.
Okay.
So I had started a fitness journey, and I had a baby fat that had lasted 14 years.
I love you. I
like, baby, that ain't baby fat. That's fat,
baby.
baby.
Well, what's my excuse? I need to find something fancy.
Girl, that ain't baby fat. That's fat, baby. Let's switch that around. So that was my truth. So I was really I had an opportunity to really focus. We had just recently moved to Greenville, South Carolina. I'm like you. I've been back and forth to Atlanta.
Okay.
It's been a couple of times. We're back in the area now. It's gonna stick and stay.
Okay.
So I started working out, and the person that I was working out with someone that I used to go to their class.
Okay.
And she was such a blessing to me because she kicked my butt, but she would pray with me while I was like Viola Davis snot bubble crying. And she'd be like, and God help her, 10 more. Keep going. Stay with her today, Father God. And she's transitioning two more. Keep your form. And she would go on.
But were you using some choice superlatives in your head while she was saying it?
And I wasn't, because it was a part of my grieving process.
Right,
it really was, and me turning into this person that used this energy to direct it someplace else.
Okay.
And so I lost 100 pounds in total.
Wow, congratulations.
I've kept 75 of them off.
I think that's awesome.
I think that's pretty good for, it's been almost 10 years. So she was like, there's a place coming that's getting ready to open, and they need fitness instructors, and I think your personality would be great. I was like, well, personality for a fitness instructor? Doesn't sound like all of what I need, girlfriend. I need a little more. She was like, no, you should give it a try. So I tried out to be a cycle instructor.
Okay.
And I did not make it.
Okay.
And when I was done, I was like, I did it. I went into this room and I tried out to be a fitness instructor, and I did not make it, but it was a whole shift for me. They loved my personality so much that the corporate people made them hire me.
What?
Yes. I was like, so
provisions will be made, doors will open.
But baby, when I got inside, them people were so mean to me. The owners did not want me to be there. Because here I am, I'm this plus size lady in this fitness space, but the people who were at the corporate brand said that they needed someone regular. I understood what that meant, to walk into spaces as a plus size person and not see that you should stay here.
I mean, statistically, the average size woman in America is a size 12.
Yeah. 12, 14, really, and truly.
You know what I mean?
And so you walk in, everyone's got abs. People are doing stuff that you cannot do. So I positioned myself to be the beginner class for everyone.
Okay.
So they stuck me the worst time, 8 8 on Sunday morning in the South. You know where everybody was at. Church. It was in the church. So I started online because of that. Because what I would do was everyone that came to my class, I would follow them online, and I created a community of people. So I started out on Sunday mornings with 3 to 8 people in class.
Okay.
By the time I left 4 years later, you had to sign up a week ahead of time at midnight in order to get into the class because it was filled every week.
Love it.
And so because I learned about building community, it was also something that helped me back together after my mom passed away.
Love
And
it.
I also began to understand the importance of visibility, especially in online spaces, to continue my journey in whatever I was doing from that place on, which opened up speaking engagements and master classes and all of that stuff, all from the start of a journey that I thought was going to kill me. So to be able to meet you and have these conversations, knowing where it started from and how I got here, and that when you interacted with my online community and the things that I create to put online, that you received it the way that you did means the world to me, because I know my intention when I put it out in the world.
And that it's having an effect. When it comes to social media, I know a lot of times people put their best self forward, but I feel like I connect with a lot of people on social media, you being one of them, that talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. Because transparency for me is good, because I feel like, you know, our generation, we come from that generation, we were raised by a generation of like, what goes on in the house, you know, stays in the house, right? And you don't talk about it. And so I was just talking with my niece recently, and she was talking about at 23, talking about imposter syndrome, you know, and that really resonated with me. And so I like when I connect with people, and for you to talk about, you know, what is like the post a couple of weeks ago about the fan on the nightstand. Listen, I mean, I was always a cold natured person. I have never been a warm natured person in my life. And then overnight, the windows open, the ceiling fans going, I got a fan and put it on a chair. And meanwhile, it's like 27 degrees outside.
Exactly.
And
Girl,
so I want to
it's bad.
celebrate you for
Thank
just the
you so
transparency.
much.
It means so much.
It means the world to me to be able to share what I know is universal. I don't really have a I'm embarrassed button, because we're all
Right.
going through it.
I'm
My poor
telling you.
husband, he is so cold in the room at night. I had to buy him a skull cap hoodie. Like one of those, the knit ones, and I had to buy it like in a lime green, because if it slips off his head and he couldn't find it. Oh, that poor guy.
And so so let's talk about, you just finished teaching the class. It's been 4 years later. During this time, are you modeling? Are you
I started doing
speaking?
everything.
Okay.
I started doing everything. So that's why I had to give you that backstory.
Okay.
Because it was the foundation for the next part of my life, which is where we are now. So modeling, public speaking, masterclasses. I don't know how on earth anybody thought that I needed to teach a masterclass, but I turned out to be very good at it.
What would you call the defining moment where this pro-aging expert developed? Is there one moment you contribute to that, or is that all of the journey?
It's a little bit about the name Yo Fly Aunty. Started because I was having so many young people come to me and ask me questions, and I'm like, why are you talking to me? Shouldn't you be talking to your mom?
Don't you like the transition? No, you don't even realize that you've transitioned to it. You like,
Right.
oh, I'm the auntie now.
I've given the aunties different phases. So there are JV aunties, the younger aunties. They're junior varsity.
Okay, the JV
I'm in my
auntie.
varsity auntie stage. Our elders are considered to be a grad chapter.
The grad chapter. Yeah, I know she's Greek, right? That's my soror.
That's
They're grad chapter auntie.
But the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Yes. But yeah, so I realized like they're coming to me because I'm not their mom. But I'm relatable to them in a way that they don't feel threatened. threatened. But they want that kind of connection and they want the conversations. And so I'm not your auntie and I'm not your auntie. I'm your fly auntie.
I'm your fly auntie.
I'm your fly one.
Were you like writing something down, or is there a moment?
It was a full conversation. One of my best friends, her name is Renee. We were at a bar. And these people, the younger people, kept coming and asking and talking. And she was like, they're treating you like you're their aunt. I said, I'm not their auntie. Well, you know what? If I'm their auntie, I'm going to be their fly auntie. She said, no, you'll be their fly ass auntie. I said, no, I'm going to just be the fly auntie. So it started from there, which that too is a part of the pro-aging expert thing. Is because it is important to understand that when you position yourself in topics of aging, it's not just for older people.
That's very important.
It's very important. And so I positioned myself in this space because number one, it doesn't exist.
It's crazy when you think about it that it doesn't. Like when you think about where we were, the generations that we've come through, everybody talks about it, whether it's Hollywood, whether it's you and I, whether it's the ladies at the church or the stranger scene in the grocery store. We all talk about it. We all talk it.
Because we're all actively aging. We're all actively in the process of getting older. If I were to click on anything, you name it, it's only been one time that I've clicked on something and found the topic of aging to put my thoughts or something, whatever it is that I'm doing. If you're on Instagram and you want to find where should I put my podcast or something like that, it's family, it's finance, it's friendships, it's travel, it's art, it's shopping, it's clothing. Everything is, but not aging.
Right. And you know what's fun? And you don't even realize this, but you think about it at every level. Think about being in junior high school. You can't wait to be in high school. And then when you're in high school, I can't wait till I'm older. I'm in college. When you're in college, I can't wait to be grown. And then something happens in your 20s. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. And then there's this trepidation about coming into 30 and like, I'm about to be 30. And so you literally do it.
You do it.
You talk about aging at every level of life, not every the same conversation, but you do talk about aging at every pivotal moment in life. You're talking about aging.
The part that hurts me is that we get to a point that we stop talking about aging as something positive or even having a conversation about it at all. And it's positioned as something to avoid. So anti-aging cream. Well, I'm not trying to not age. So I would like for you to have
that was good. That was good.
I do this.
That was good. You know what? Because words are so important.
They're so important.
And I'm in a book club and we're reading the 4 agreements right now.
Oh, that's a good one. So be impeccable with your word.
I'm telling you, and just what has been branded on your brain because it's just been said so much and just a repetition of things that you take on and you don't even realize
you don't even realize
this is so off the subject, but I said to a friend of mine that's a pastor, I was like, I need us to think about that. Like you church people, right? You're supposed to be spiritual, leading the way. Why is that list called the sick and shut in list? That irritates my soul. Do you hear me? Why is it called the sick? Why is it not healed and free list? So we just gonna keep and just remember these members on the sick and shut in. They are sick and shut. We keep calling them sick and shut in.
Y'all.
I can't stand it. They're gonna be healed and free. Okay.
They're like
healed and free.
Healed and free. It does need a different. It needs.
I'm telling you, we do it. That book has. I mean, I've already thought about stuff like that, but reading it, I'm paying attention to everything, and I have been guilty of that. I generally don't share like in the vulnerability of how you share on social media. Like I vlog about my S.E.T talk adventures and different things, but I just had a moment in January where I just felt like sharing something it was just that urging, just like you have to share that. And I think that's important in those moments because there's so many little breakthroughs and nuggets that you have that you just give it to somebody. And I think that's the beauty of social media. You have this platform that I was surprised at the amount of people that responded. I was like, whoa. It's like, oh my God, that was for me. I was saying I'm right there with you like that. And so I think what you do is I know that you know that's important. And I think it's a calling. I think it's a purpose in it because like you said, this thing is not about us. It's the smoke and mirror, right? to get us where we're going.
Yes. Yeah. And it would have to be a calling because I want to quit every day.
Talk to me about when you came into this space of you're doing the classes, you wanted to build community with your people who were coming and supporting you. Did social media always come easy to you? Was that something you had to, was it just as simple as them following you, following back? Were you in the mindset of creating content yet when you were teaching the spin class?
I think what I did then is what I still do now. And what made it easy is that the understanding that it wasn't about me.
Okay.
And so when I would meet people in class and then I would follow them up in my stories, I'd say, hey, Gina, thanks for coming to class today. Hope your test goes really well when you're going to knock it out the park. Whatever you told me, I'm going to call you, shout you out.
Okay.
That's a gift that I have, that I'm able to remember people's stories very well. So the last class that I taught, I played Cheers. I need to pull that video up. And I shouted out everybody in class, one bike at a time. That's still the same story.
I just got chills. You don't know, like, first of all, my love language is affirming. So to me, those kind of moments are everything. They could be life changing for people.
They are.
You don't realize how, I don't think people realize how much, especially if you've been fortunate and blessed to be raised in an environment where you had life spoken into you, you were given compliments or told you were pretty or handsome or awesome, whatever those things were. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of adults that walk around here that do not get compliments, receive compliments. I used to be criticized, like, as the environment was changing, like, you need to be careful, like the way you compliment women. What? Why do I have to be careful? My mother taught me that.
Won't.
If my mother was out and saw a woman and she liked her hair or her earrings or yes, my mother was such a compliment giver, and that's something that just comes very natural for me. But I'm also aware enough now that you don't know what they can do for somebody. True story. I went out with some friends for brunch one day, and a Caucasian guy, must have been the manager, and he was walking around checking on everybody. And I mean, he had this beautiful salt and pepper beard. I'm just a sucker for, you know, like that after five shadow. And I was like, your beard is amazing. It looks wonderful. I said, I don't mean to
So I'm not trying to objectify you. I'm just saying.
I just wanted to, I said, it just really looks great. He comes back around and he was like, has his phone out. He was like, can we put this on a voice memo to send my wife? I need her to know. She doesn't like the beard, but I need her to know this beard, you know? So we laughed about it. It was funny. It's time to go and pay the check. And it's like, say his name was Tom. Oh, Tom already took care of it. Tom said you made his mom. He said breakfast is on him. And it was just a simple thing. It wasn't even anything I thought.
You didn't think anything of it.
That deep on, but people loved to hear a nice compliment or to be celebrated.
And to see themselves, right. And so back to that visibility piece of me being in that space where I wasn't supposed to be there as a permission structure for the other people in the room to see whatever it is that they weren't supposed to be doing as something that they should absolutely do. And I continue to do the same exact thing, even if I'm not saying a word. When I show up and I shoot content and I'm just being jazzy and with a little tune in the back, whatever, I'm telling you, get up. I'm telling you to get up. I'm telling you to, if you haven't, you know what, one of the things that I hear from women a lot is that I don't know the last time that I put on makeup or did something that made myself feel pretty. I don't know why.
It's important.
Because you don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to go anywhere. I'm getting ready to push for people to start going to get their photos taken. To go find you somebody that you can afford and get yourself together and take a picture of you, not your family, just you. Because you need to see you how we see you.
That's right.
Because we forget that you, girl, do you see how magnificent you are? I need for you to remember, you know, people used to compliment you on your eyes and now you're not even showing them to the folks.
Right.
No more.
And it's like, it's not even about whether you wear makeup or whether you wear lashes, but just celebrating you, because I think in this age that we live in, a lot of stuff is pre-planned for people, and you don't have to pre-plan it. Stop overthinking this thing. Like, it's just a picture of you. Don't worry about a picture of you. The other 70,000 girls.
You don't need to put it anywhere.
About you, right? And what makes you feel good. And if that's just putting your good vitamin E oil on or your cocoa butter or whatever else
but you just hit the nail on the head, Gina. They don't remember what makes them feel good. What used to make you feel good may not make you feel good anymore, and you need to find new ways to feel good.
And so, did you marry early?
I got married at 30.
Okay.
I don't think that's early. I had
I
a
mean,
very
this
good young
day and
one.
age, I think it's early now.
Now, I
Right.
guess that's true.
Yeah, but
Yes.
then I think, yeah, I think that was like
Yeah.
average. I feel like most of my friends started getting married around
Around there.
28-ish,
Yeah.
30-ish.
We've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
married
definitely.
23 years this year.
That's beautiful.
Uh,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Now, let me ask you this because I'm not married and I don't have children. And so I
Mhm.
would like for you to speak to that for a moment with regards to being a wife and a mother. What message would you have to women? I talk to a lot of my friends. Sometimes I feel like they have lost just what you said, who they are, or
Mhm.
parts of who they believe they were, whether it's
Mhm.
their outer appearance, their own
Mhm.
self-care, or
Mhm.
just things they did for their own joy. Is there any advice that you will offer to them how to even start the process of getting back to that?
Can I cuss on your podcast?
Absolutely.
Girl, if you don't get your ass back outside, you need to take time for yourself.
Yeah.
I had an exceptional role model in Brenda Jean. That's my mama.
Brenda
My
G.
mother would go on vacation because she was a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She would go on vacation with the family, and then she would go on vacation with her friends every
Really?
summer.
I
Every
love that.
summer. This is the 70s and
I'm
80s,
telling you, I
honey.
thought that was something that started with us. Your mama was
I'm gonna
not
tell you what
playing.
else. My mama also taught me to buy myself a gift
Okay.
and to figure out what your budget is gonna be. And if that gift for you is I'm gonna take $2 out of my check every month, $2. When Christmas comes, I'm gonna add that real good foot rub mask when I go get my pedicure. You know you did that for yourself throughout the year, and you made sure that you treated yourself the way that you wanted to be treated.
Okay.
If it's a big gift, some years she would buy herself, a nice bag. Some years it will be something as simple as she wanted to go to a fancy restaurant by herself. But you got to get back outside. That's number one. And you got to get back to figuring out what you like. Because when you got married, you had different needs. And you shouldn't expect for anybody to make you happy if you don't make yourself happy first. I buy myself flowers every Friday. Every Friday. For myself. Look. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Look, they right here. They in a vase.
I love
Because
it.
I go and get
Do
myself
you have your own
flowers.
vase? Do you have your own vase?
It's Midlife Flyness book.
Midlife Flyness. I love it.
And
that's beautiful.
I have them right next to me, and there's some inside of my office. My husband will still give me flowers, but it is not his responsibility because I like flowers. I should buy them. I should buy them. And if you're sitting around waiting for other people to make you happy, that's a one-way ticket to bitter.
I'm telling you. I believe that. I believe that.
Even in your marriage, because your husband has changed as well. It's like, and so get back outside, girl. That's number one. And even if getting outside and you're like, I don't have the budget to be doing these trips with these girls, don't go on them trips with them girls.
Take a walk.
Let me tell you, let me put you up on game.
Okay, we're here.
Resort Pass. This is not an ad
I
for
love
them.
Resort. Wait, did I learn about Resort Pass from you? I think it was you. I think it was you.
Take your cell phone down to get to the Resort Pass, especially with the summers coming up.
Yes.
Honey, for us, you could have a room at a lovely hotel from 10 a.m. until 5. That was a vacation.
I know. And then some of them have like the roof deck pool. In Philly, they had the roof deck pool.
Here too.
You said take those pictures of yourself. I mean, the picture backdrop is beautiful.
Beautiful. The one that I went to at the end of the year was the Epicurean before they closed for the summer. And rooftop, they have a whole restaurant right at the pool. You can't go outside and breathe for $100 right now.
But Kendra, some number as low as $55. It was one in Princeton. I think it was the Crown Plaza, the Crown something in Princeton, New Jersey. And I think theirs was only like $40 or $45.
They have some for $35, $25. You can you can do a day pass, or you could just do a pool pass. The pool pass sometimes is like $25.
And the pool gives you access to the sauna, right?
All of it. Some of the spaces have massage areas. That one and day use. Day use.
I don't think I use day use.
But you're like, okay, well, that's summertime. I can't do that until summer. Okay, yes, you can. Because when you drive into the city and you go shopping, so I'm far away from Atlanta. Atlanta's spread out. But what if I wanted to go and spend the day in Atlanta? I get me a day pass and go shopping. Go sit in them people hotel. Get me a little room service. Take a fine nap.
A fine nap.
A fine nap.
No interruptions.
No interruptions. Hello, fine now. A real good shower without anybody bothering you.
Mm-hmm.
Grab you a little something to eat before you go home. That is a full day. Get back outside.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about this book, Midlife Flyness. Writing your own first class ticket to aging.
Aging well.
So we know this is who you are. And I feel like anybody listening, it just comes through. So was the book just a natural progression of everything that was going on, or was there a particular inspiration?
It was a continuation of the work that I do.
Mhm.
My podcast needs to come back into production.
I listened to your podcast episodes you had. I enjoyed
Did
them.
you?
I did.
Thank you. Thank you. It was COVID shut everything down in such a way that I was just like, it was too much. But as you can see, I'm back in my studio. I'm ready.
Okay.
But the book really was an extension of the episodes of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that because it's hard to quantify stuff to different audiences.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for the visibility piece to come to the message that I want to bring, and for brand partners, I'm just going to say it, for them to see that this is a viable community, and that specifically when I'm talking about Black women who are 40 and over, we spend so much money. I need for you to know that I'm not just creating stuff just for me and my buddies. Well, do you have a book that we can? Yes. Do you have some audio or something? Anything that you would like for me to have? I already have it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to use it as a reason to not take this community seriously.
I love it.
Now let's come on over here and talk. So it just became an extension of it. It will continue to grow, but I needed to go ahead and put it out because I don't want anybody to not have a reason to take us seriously.
Right.
And as soon as I did it, I started being taken seriously by different corporations.
Mm-hmm.
So when I speak to brand partners, I just did something with someone from LinkedIn, and I can tell them in chapter such and such, in the book, Midlife Flyness, writing your own first class ticket to aging. Well, I speak about pivoting and how it's important to understand that older, seasoned veterans in your industry may not necessarily want to show up every day, but in this book, chapter whatever, page 12, I speak about someone that I spoke to that did da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And so it adds to the multiverse of what I'm creating, and it's not for me, it's for us.
I believe that. What do you think people of a particular age have this fear or this block when it comes to social media? And I try to tell people and encourage, social media is who you are, right? What comes across your timeline or your feed is going to be connected to your interests and what you are. If you want to get in and you want to see positive affirmations all day, those are the pages you follow. Those are the people you follow, the speakers you follow. Is there a side of it that's ratchet and all these other things? Yes,
Right.
because there are audiences for all, but I try to encourage a lot of people because I feel like it's free inspiration. Right.
It is.
Another thing with podcasts, I don't care. It's hard for me to believe when I hear people say, I don't listen to not one podcast.
Like, I don't know how they make it.
I don't care if you're into bee picking, knitting, if you're into pro-aging, if you're into mixing up mocktails and cocktails, there are podcasts for that. And so I am proud of how you are so great with your visuals and technology. I feel like you keep elevating and pushing the envelope when things come out. Are those things that you took time to learn? Is that something you happily pay for? Wow.
I do everything. So I wrote my book, I formatted my book, I published my book. Every piece of content that you see, I create each and every one of them. So what I do is I have shoot days. Yesterday was a shoot day for me.
Okay.
And a lot of stuff is stuff that's on my mind, but you may not see that until a month from now because I need for it to be tied into Viola Davis is talking about such and such. So let me stitch this with Viola Davis and so it's relatable.
Okay.
I started making my own music.
It's good. I'm super impressed right now that you're saying that you do. I mean, I'm not there yet, but I understand what it's like to be a one.
Yeah, it's right.
Show. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And fortunately, my boys are old enough now that, but I have a schedule that I adhere to in order to, because that's the thing though, Gina, like I want us to have the content we deserve.
Yeah.
And so would it be fine if I just did whatever? Sure, it'll be fine. But I want you to see yourself. I want you to see that I tried. I want you to see that somebody put their heart into something and they served it to me.
I see you. And I know if it's not just me. I think your 50 followers speak volumes of you being seen. I just want to know, when is the headline coming out? Is the headline coming? Because you know you killed the hats, right? The hats are right.
I ain't even gonna play. I could eat a hat down.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. After we're done, I'm gonna go get a picture. It's right across from me. I can't show it to you now, but it's my Nana. So my Nana used to tell me, "You got a hat face." She's so, very Southern lady with the big hats and stuff. But she could eat a hat down, honey. And so I would love to have a hat line. I've never thought about it though.
I can't believe you haven't. Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
I think it's one of your signatures, a chunky earring or a hat. Yes, ma'am.
And listen, do you know why I wear these? The other ones are over there. I wear these earrings over and over again, and it's like 2 different designers that I use their stuff over and over again. Is because I love a good name brand purse, a good Fendi or whatever. But the part about being in community means that if you have an opportunity to showcase people who are in your community, then why are you not rocking with your community?
Right.
So people ask me about these earrings all the time. If I had on some of the Fendi little teardrops or something, they would ask me about those. But Fendi don't need us to support them. So Fendi has built in years of generational wealth. So I have a pair of earrings that are shaped like flowers. And the lady that makes them she wasn't making them anymore. But people were harassing me.
Because you did a video about it.
I said, y'all not going to keep harassing me about these earrings. So I asked her. And she said, if you tell them to come and request them, I will make them. So the earrings were like $70. She had to make 20 new pair. That's what you're supposed to do.
From sharing. All from you sharing. All from you sharing.
That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Because again, as we spoke before, the stuff that we have is not for us. And when people say to me, oh, I only have 30 followers. So back to your friends talking about engaging with social media or even posting anything. If you had 30 people in your living room, that's too many damn people.
Okay.
So that's a good way to look at it. Why are you saying that about only 30 people? If you are charged with shepherding 30 people, respect the 30 people that you're charged with shepherding.
I received that personally. Thank you.
Was I reading it?
You just took your shoes off and just stomped all over my feet. Thank you.
It was a holy stuff.
It was like pulling my feet back, curling my toes in. Yes. Yeah. You're right. That is such a wonder. If those 30 people have been assigned to you, then worry about the assignment. Because worry about the current assignment.
The current assignment is being charged with the care of doing something with those people that you can never pay for, which is they are spending time with you that they will never get back.
Right.
So if you're in their presence for whatever reason that they've been sent your way, you have to take care of them. So that's why I pour my heart into it.
I love it. And so I see that you're such like a connector of people. And so when you're out and someone sees you or recognize you or you get a message in your inbox, are there particular ways or has there been a moment that has stood out of how you know what you're doing is that good work that you need to continue doing?
It is still rare that people come up to me. I think I might look intimidated. I don't know what it is. But just this past Christmas, I was in the dollar store. I had just posted about being cute to the ankle. I was explaining that I don't prioritize wearing high heels anymore. Cute to the ankles. Now I'm going to be cute past the ankles. But the whole point was you fall when you get older, it could ruin your life. And I don't know if people know this, but the life expectancy after you break your hip, if you make it past 5 years, then it can literally be catastrophic because you will end up with so many issues that if you end up in that bed and pneumonia or something, take you right on out of here. But this lady comes up to me and she walks past me and she points at me. And then she points at my shoes. And then she starts crying. Why are you crying? Ma'am, what is going on? She said, cute to the ankles. I just saw you.
See that on a shirt, cute to the ankles.
I'm going to post it today, actually. I do have merch that's actually coming up today. I was cute to my ankles, but my ankles were ashy. So I was very embarrassed.
Cute to the ankles.
But ashy.
But ashy.
So when she comes up to me and she hugs me and she's crying. And I'm like, what are you crying for? So we had this really lovely conversation and she tells me that she's buying stuff for her kids. She teaches preschool. So I said, well, you buy half of the antlers and I'll buy the other half of the antlers.
Oh, that was sweet.
She started crying. It's the
Yeah.
dollar store. It's the dollar store. But it was in that moment I realized, like, I don't know what people see when they see me.
Okay.
But I feel as though what they are receiving is the love that's inside of it.
It just shines through. I'm an oversharer.
I love
I'm just,
oversharer.
like I said, I just give it now.
Is it
And when
oversharing?
I don't know if it's over. I think that's that. Again, back to the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
I like to share.
Because
And
we're
so when
communal
you
people.
talked
We're
about,
very
because I
communal.
think people need it. And I sent you to a couple of, and I say that to say that I'm still shocked when I talk to friends, and I'm talking about friends of 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, the amount, just how uncomfortable people are about sharing things about themselves. And so even just with menopause and I had a hysterectomy, 3 years ago now. January was 3 years. And when you were posted about the fan, and you talked about menopause on another day, your comments were just like on fire, like with people sharing and talking about it. And even I noticed Tabitha Brown has transitioned, and she's talking about, I think it's P is what she's referring to.
She talks about Perry.
Right, Perry, the cycle. And so I feel like that's a good conversation to have, that even now recognizing things that probably were happening in my late 30s, early 40s that I didn't even recognize.
Well, if you think back on your grandma,
yeah,
and stuff like my grandma had this whole thing where she thought she was smelling something. Turns out phantom smells is a part of menopause.
Yeah.
There are so many different things that we absolutely have no idea.
My mother is going to kill me.
Are you going to tell her that?
She is going to kill me. I remember I came home from college one year. She went to the bus stop. She would take the bus and train into work. And I was up because I think I had a summer job, and she came back in the house, and she was like, "Do you smell that? Do you smell that?" And she's like lifting her arm. I'm like, "Smell what?" And she's like, "You don't smell that?" And I said, "Smell what?" And she was like, "I don't know. Like, do I smell right? Do I smell?" I was like, like, she went upstairs and showered.
Yes.
She went up shower, and now knowing, looking,
your body does change.
She was going through the changes, and she was like, I'm like, woman, you just got out of the shower like less than 30 minutes.
Your deodorant doesn't.
Yes, but it's a true thing, and that's one of those things we don't talk about, and people don't know. Like, it's a very real thing.
I shot this yesterday, but I think I'll drop it this week. I'm doing a call out video, and I'm calling out Essence because I love Essence and I love Essence Fest. But aging is not a bug; it's a feature. And just you think about, like, with your mom, what does she know about technology? And what are we doing to keep our aging community safe? Medicine. I've had some of the worst treatment in my life as an older adult. What are we doing? And why aren't we talking about it?
I think it's just what you said. People put this negative kind of, and you know what I think is too, and this is the truth, right? This is the truth. I don't receive from everyone, and I need people that have personality like you with the delivery. I don't want a monotone speaker that's talking like a lecturer in a class.
And some people, and that was the other thing with the book too. Some people want that.
Yeah, and it just does. I don't relate to it, and so I want to laugh through it. I know how to laugh at a lot of people don't know how to laugh at themselves, and so for me, I laugh at myself. I love to laugh at myself. It keeps me going. I'm friends with people and talk to people who are okay with poking fun at themselves, but a lot of people, that's not what they receive. And I think platforms that bring that in to let people know it's okay. So things like what you do and what Tabitha Brown does, it sticks with people.
It sticks with people.
It sticks with my kind of people because we laugh, we can joke, but this is a serious lesson at the same time.
It's a gateway for you to go and find out the serious information you need to find out by planting the seeds in your mind. The central component of everything that I do is educate, entertain, and edify. Educate, entertain, edify. We're going to learn. I'm going to entertain you while we're learning. I'm going to get you with a sister girl and girl, can you believe? And yesterday I did. And have I told you about? And do you know? And edify. Because I need for you to see yourself, and I need for you to know that you're seen. And after that, you could go on, you could run on. That's all we need from each other.
I think I'll run on.
I think I'm gonna run on. See what?
You can't have us together because we won't stop.
It's like, if you start, I ain't gonna let you go by yourself.
That
You
was
start.
good.
I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, educate, entertain, and edify.
Educate, entertain, edify.
I want to keep talking to you, right? Like, this is just, it's so good. It's such good information. I
have a bar next to me. So
it is so good.
Well, I hope you invite me back.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like we need to do a series on something.
I would love that.
It's so much to unpack. I feel like it's all been so good. It's just been such good jewels. I love that you educate, entertain, and edify. But if there was one thing you do not want people to walk away from this episode and miss, what is that?
That growing older is the opportunity to be your best self, your most authentic version of yourself. Like, your 20s are for you to test out what your mama and them taught you. Your 30s, you realize what mama and them taught me. Some of it I'm going to take with me, some of it I'm going to leave, and I'm grown. 40s are fun. If you're not in your 40s, when you get to your 40s, hit me up online. The 40s are so good because all your fucks are gone.
I say freedom. It's like my freedom. I'm so free. I've never been this free in my life. Ever.
All of them they gone. You not only do you not have anymore, you aren't re-upping. You will not be signing up for that package again. Mm-hmm. You're not doing that. And your 50s is a settledness of owning your story in a way that
unapologetically.
It is so unapologetic. Mm-hmm. And when you see people who own their story, you know them when you see them. Because that thing that you see from people and it reads as being regal, it is because they have used all of the adversity that was meant to kill them to polish their crown. Those jewels shine bright. You're like, what did you put on that? Be like, honey, if I told you, you wouldn't be able to do it. But when you get here, you'll understand why.
You understand why?
Yeah, I say it's, you know what it looks like? You know how when you see people who have like money and they just have on like some jeans, but you can still tell that they got money?
They got money. Mm.
That's what your 50s are like. And everyone tells me that the 60s are even better. So God willing. I get there. So I would like for them to understand that getting older is an opportunity to be more of who you really are.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kendra Lendsey, yo, Fly Aunty, my Fly Aunty. Let's cheers it up for our awesome visionary sip. I adore you. Well, there you have it. Another episode, another installment of the Visionary Sip. I want to thank our guest, Kendra Lendsey, yo, Fly Aunty. I hope that you all have fallen in love with her as I have fallen in love with her. Her honesty and transparency and vulnerability and the courage to do it all on her journey to share. There will be a link in the description on how you can connect with her on Instagram, as well as a link to her webpage where you can find and order a copy of her book. Remember to follow us on Instagram at S.E.T Talk Podcast. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. And you can also follow me on Instagram at I am Gina Gibson. Remember, life is too short for bad vibes and bad drinks. So keep sipping, keep chatting, and always remember, life is a journey, but it's better with a sip and a chat. Until next time, cheers. Thank you, sippers, for joining the S.E.T Podcast, where we sip, eat, talk. If you've enjoyed our flavorful conversations, don't miss out on future episodes. Subscribe now and follow us on Instagram, at YouTube, at Sip, Eat, Talk Podcast. Let's continue to sip, eat, and talk together. Until next time, cheers.